Good morning, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. We are about to go take care of the quail and the chickens. It is still below freezing here right now. So I have one waterer that I need to fill up. So this is what my urban homesteading looks like. I think I told y'all already that I decided to purchase extra waterers so it makes it easier for me. Less like, oh my God, I'm about to go out here and freeze. The waterers outside are more than likely still frozen because we're still under freezing outside. So I have extra waterers in the house that I fill up, and then all I gotta do is go grab the waterers out of there that's frozen and put some fresh water in there for them so they can have fresh, unfrozen water every day. Okay, so listen, I thought about something the other day which will make my life even more easier. Oh wow, that was down on the ground. Not that it matters because I'm going outside in it, but someone had given me these overalls. I guess they're overalls, coveralls, I don't know what you call them. Oh, we had bad lighting over there. So I put these down here so that when it's time for me to go out, all I have to do is plop these on, and over top of my clothes, I need to bring a pair of boots in here. So I'm working on systems. I think when you have an urban homestead, I know I was like, I don't need like real systems in place, but I really do, because it still makes it easier for me to go and do what I need to do. And so this is one of the systems that I recently put in place. Now, I'm probably going to go get a jacket because I think we're gonna walk around the garden so I can show you what the garden looks like now that all the snow is gone. Yesterday, you know how long ago it snowed here? Yesterday it rained and we were like in the 40s and the snow is finally gone. That is how long the snow was in my garden, y'all. I was like, listen, when is this snow gonna leave? But I told y'all before, that is because I have a lot of shade in my backyard. So that snow is finally gone. But right now, I'm gonna go grab a jacket. I'll be right back because I do feel like I'm gonna need to put a jacket on. Another thing that I need to do to help my systems is to bring a pair of boots down here just for the winter, because other than that, I'll go through the back door in my bedroom like I always do. But for this, and I had this stuff in my bedroom and I was like, I don't want this in here. And I was like, well, you have a door downstairs. So I brought the waterers down here. This is where I bring them to. And then when I leave out in the morning to go take care of them, I go through this door now. So I need to have everything that helps my system down here. So I'm going to get a pair of boots and put them in here too. Because at this point, I have to go out of the door if I'm going to put boots on. Go get boots from off the back porch and then bring them down here. So this is one of the systems that I'm working on here on my urban homestead. So let's go, y'all. So I hadn't actually been outside. The sun is out. It's really not that bad out here. Doesn't feel bad out here. You know the other thing that I think we're going to do today? I think we're going to go ahead and combine the two covies. We're going to see how that works. I think I'm going to go ahead and combine them. We're going to see how that works. Oh, I'm also about to go and get, I'm about to go get some boots. It's so crazy how wild they act. As if I haven't given them water. I gave them water yesterday. They act so wild. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and combine the two covies. I'm going to put both feeders in there with them, because at this point, the baby quail also can have regular food. I'm going to put both of the feeders in the same coop, and we're going to see how that goes. Both feeders, both waters in the same coop. That way they won't be fighting over food or anything like that, or water, and we're going to see how this works. Okay, so I have said before that I do not do that because it is said that the animals will fight, the birds will fight, right? And so that's why I also wanted those coops right beside each other, because I was like, hopefully they'll get used to each other. And so someone had asked me before, like, you say that and I don't just take what people say at face value. That makes perfect sense. The reason why I said it is because they may fight, and that's why I don't do it, but I'm giving it a chance. Because just like with my chickens, I do integrate other chickens, but I let them get used to each other. So they've been outside beside each other for quite some time now, and I feel like maybe they've gotten used to each other, but I will keep my eyes on it. I will make sure no one is bleeding, they're not missing hair on the top of their head, things like that, and then I'll see what happens. If I have to put them back and separate them, now I won't know which ones are which, so perhaps that's going to be a problem. Should have thought about that, but it's my first time. It's a learning experience, but maybe what I'll do is the ones that are, if they start to fight, the ones that are bleeding or missing hair on their head, I will move them. That's what I can do. That's my plan at this point. So, all right, let's get some more food, put that in there for them. They have 2 feeders, 2 waterers, and they should be able to survive together with enough food and water. So why am I doing that at all? Because I have eggs in the incubator now. Tomorrow is day 3, so I will put them in lockdown. And what I mean when I say lockdown is I will take the turner out of the incubator and they should start hatching really soon after. And I did kindle them. I think we talked about that. There are quail in those eggs. And so what I want to do is to keep another covey. Then I'll have 2 large coveys for egg laying and essentially for meat production. So that's the reason why I wanted to combine them, because I can get a whole other covey out of the eggs that's in the incubator right now. So like I said, we're gonna look around the garden. I'm gonna have to go get my gloves. My hands are cold. I figured that, you know, when I first walked out here, that it was not that cold. It didn't feel that cold to me, but yeah, no, it's cold. Okay, so the girls, the chicken's water isn't frozen. I just needed to kick that a little bit. So that is a plus, so I don't have to worry about bringing their 3-gallon waterer out here. I checked it while I was letting y'all enjoy the quail. So see, their water isn't frozen. It has some ice in it, but it's not frozen. So they're good to go for the day. Hey girls, they are waiting on their treats. That's why everybody's at my feet. So let's get y'all. It's the best I got right now. It's too cold. These are the treats that I feed them. And they're not treats, they are scratch grain. Actually, I need to get some more GrubTerra treats. I need to order them. I'm bad at ordering things. Stop it. Yeah, I'm really bad at remembering to order things, but that's the scratch grain. And so basically I give that to them every day because as I understand it, chickens hold their heat from the food that you give them. And so I give them scratch grain every day. They have a feeder block in here, so that's food. And then they have their regular food. So basically in the winter, I just want to make sure that they always have food available to them. So listen, I'm going to check to see if we have any eggs. So we don't. And so this is the deep litter method. Very dry in here, and I'll come and add more if I need to. But that's not what I was telling you to hey look at. I was gonna tell you my majestic Moran started laying again. I had stopped coming to look for eggs. I've basically just been checking to see if I need to put more bedding in there for them. And I checked the other day for bedding, and there were 3 eggs in there. And I was like, oh, cool. So the Majestic Moran is laying again. I'm gonna go, we've done what we needed to do for the animals. I'm gonna go grab some gloves, and then we're gonna come out here and look at the garden. So while we were getting gloves, and I'm about to put my hand under some under some hot water, those are quail eggs in there. This keeps lifting up. I seriously have no idea why it's doing that. I've had this incubator for probably a year, 2 years or so. It's never done that. I don't know why it's doing it, but we are on day 4 tomorrow. They'll go into lockdown. I am very excited about that. I feel like this is gonna be the last hatching until it warms back up, because I'm only getting like, you know, 2 eggs every 3 or 4 days. And that won't work for putting them in the incubator. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm truly okay with that. I can wait until it warms back up to get more quail eggs. I'm running my hands under hot water so that they can thaw before I put these heated gloves on. And someone asked about the heated gloves again. I had mentioned them before. I guess I'll maybe start linking them down in the description in case you're new and you hadn't seen the video from before with the heated gloves. This is the company that the heated gloves came from. I got them as a gift. I want to say for maybe Christmas. I got them as a gift for Christmas. And yes, the light does indicate that they're heated. They come on red, and then as they warm up, they'll go down in temperature, but you can turn them back up if you want to. I do. And I do turn them back up. So, all right, let's go take a look at the garden. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. There is no snow left out here, and I'm very happy about that. I take that back. There's still snow in the Vego garden bed and in a little bit of these bags. So my first thought is it does not look too bad out here. As I mentioned in videos before, it is said that the snow insulates the garden. I have no idea how that works. In my mind, it does not make sense, but I do believe that it works. So like I said, we are not above freezing yet. It's still like 30 degrees. I think around 1 or 2, it gets above freezing. Well, it gets to freezing, to 32 at 1 o'clock or so. But if you see my garden, you will, there are things that look to be unfrozen. And so I guess that's with the sun being out, but I think that the soil is absolutely still frozen. But let's just do, I guess, a quick garden tour after the snow. So we're gonna start here with the bed that's right beside the entrance. Now, this one, the vole had pulled up. Like I came out here and it was literally sitting on top of the soil and the root had been eaten out of it. And I just put it back because brassicas can re-root. Like I've seen that happen. So I put it back and it's not completely dead. So it may be re-rooting. These are collards. This whole bed is collards. So this variety, which I'm not sure which one it is, it doesn't seem to fare very well in the snow, and it had not grown really tall anyway. So we're just gonna leave them because in spring they may start to grow again. These collards look fine. They are definitely a little light skinned. They're not as green as they should be, but even with that, they will come back. I more than likely need to fertilize as well, but I'm not gonna fertilize in this cold weather while the soil is just frozen anyway. And then when you come down, you have, these are the same variety as what's down here. Now they look a little bit better, but I think that's because they get a little more sun. I'm really not sure. And this is a cabbage, also looking not as green as it should, but I really think it's because I need to fertilize. And as I mentioned, I am out of comfrey. But I did pick up some fish emulsion, and so when I am able, when like the soil is not frozen, because this soil is frozen, make no mistake about it, the soil is frozen. When it is not frozen, then I will come out here and fertilize. So let's move over to the bed in the middle. Do y'all remember this little kale that was like a stick after the fall fiasco? Look at it. it is really still like thriving and surviving out here, and that's going to start growing really well in the spring. I can tell you that. Down this bed we have broccoli. We have little broccoli heads, and they have not turned into mush, and the leaves look really good, and so we're just gonna leave those. Like I said, if I can get out here and fertilize, I think it would be helpful. This is the little broccoli plant that I just left because it was struggling, but I still left it. Broccoli leaves are edible, and so I am not a big fan of them, but some of you told me to mix it with my collard greens, and so that's what I'm going to do whenever the collard greens and everything grows. I'm gonna mix some broccoli leaves with the collards and see if I like it that way. And right beside this little broccoli, that is a radish, and so I think it's gonna be a nice size radish. My radishes didn't do well in this bed, and so I think that's gonna be a nice size one though. And then down at the end of this bed are 2 kohlrabi that did survive, and so as I said, everything's frozen, so like the leaves aren't frozen, but that soil is. And then at the end, we had, I want to say 3 cauliflower in here. The one in the middle died, but we still have the other 2, and they look decent. And if we turn around from the middle bed, you have the bed that's over by the strawberries, and you see the strawberries are doing fine. I never got around to covering them, but they're doing fine. But back here, this is a cabbage. I can't remember what variety it is, but it was the one that was growing the best. It got ate down by the chickens at least 2 times, and it is still trying to survive. We have this little sad kale in here, but it was not very mature once all the cold air moved in. So we still have this kale here, and I'm just leaving it. And then there's 2 kohlrabi left as well. So the garden ain't looking that bad for the bad fall that it had, and for the fact that we are having like really cold temperatures and we don't get snow much, and now we've also had snow twice, and there's more snow on its way. And of course our winter sowing jugs, we just keep adding to them. I have 3 more jugs in the house, so I'll be adding to them. This whole little section will be full of jugs by the time spring gets here, and these will be plants that I did not have to start inside. So if you're interested in winter sowing, I have done 2 videos so far this year that include winter sowing, and they are in the Spring Me Please series. So if you're interested in winter sowing, you can just watch the Spring Me Please playlist, and it is in there how I winter sow. Well, how most people winter sow. It's very easy. So right here, look at this kohlrabi, y'all. I can't get it out because it's frozen, and I would rather not take it out while it's frozen. Nice size kohlrabi right there. And there's a snapdragon that's growing back. These snapdragons were in here from last spring. That's when I put them in here, and so they are growing back. We have the leeks over here, which we're gonna pull those leeks this spring, and we're gonna replace them. There's another kohlrabi. The cabbage have a purple tint to them, and I'm pretty sure that's because it's just super cold out here. So if you have a broccoli plant and you've already harvested the head, you can leave it. You don't have to, but you can leave it. The heads that you're gonna get from the side shoots are not gonna be nearly as big as the original head that you got from the plant, but it is extra food, especially right now when we're not getting a lot of food out of our garden. And so back here are the tree collards. And so they have a little bit of discoloration because it's cold. It's cold, right? But they are still growing. The tree collards are still growing. This one as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. Those plants that we put in pretty late, they were all kohlrabi. They're not making much. Well, that's a cabbage actually. Right now they're not making much noise, but I think once it starts to warm up that they will. And then we have another little snapdragon back here that's growing as well. And then of course we have the Brussels sprouts, and there are Brussels sprouts in there. Don't really want to move the plant much because it's frozen, but there are Brussels sprouts in there. So I'm excited about that. This one too. You see the Brussels sprouts? I don't know if you can see it from my big old gloves. But that's the first cinder block bed. So I took my hair down so that I wouldn't look a mess. I'm really wishing I had left my hair wrapped up because it is all in my face. It is all in my mouth. And listen, I have terrible terrible gag reflex from like hair and stuff getting in my mouth. I cut it out. I'm gonna cut it out when I edit, but oh my God, I wish I had left this hair up. All right, next bed. If you remember, I harvested the pak choi for my sister because I just knew it wasn't gonna make it through all of this cold. So I threw the bad leaves back into the garden so they will decay and go back into the soil, so that works. That's what they call chop and drop. So you just take off the leaves and leave them on the soil. You could cut them up. I didn't. It was cold the night that I harvested those for her, and I was like, yeah, no. This is a snapdragon from spring. And you have cabbages over here, and that cabbage over there was put in much later than these cabbages, but everything still looks decent out here. There's broccoli back here. I left the heads because I wanted to see if they would get bigger. They're already putting out side shoots, so I don't believe that the heads are going to get any bigger, and that's fine. But we still have broccoli going right here. And like a really cold hardy plant is kale. Like it's a very cold hardy plant, so you can't really tell anything happened out here. This kale looks pretty much the same, and I'm leaving all of this stuff because in spring when it warms up, I keep saying it, this stuff is gonna start growing again. So we also have some purple kale back here. Now that one over there, I don't know what's gonna happen to it. And this one here, because they were small, they were not super mature when I put them in the first place. And then you have some snapdragons. Like, look at this snapdragon. It's trying to put a flower out, which doesn't normally happen in the winter. This is a snapdragon from spring as well. So it died back when it got hot. That's what you're seeing here. And then it just started to grow again. See, look, it's trying to put out flowers. Snapdragons are very cold hardy flowers. Then there's a little bit of Swiss chard back here, and I do think once it warms up, that's gonna take off. It didn't do much in the fall at all. So now let's go over here to this bed. The Lacinato kale still looks decent. I harvested everything before it got really cold. These are cabbages. All of this bed up until yesterday was covered in snow. So these are broccoli over here, but the plants still look good. And then there's also some Swiss chard in here. And these Brussels sprouts back here, they, I'm sure, are very, very frozen. Like I said, the whole bed was covered in snow up until yesterday. But we're going to leave everything. Not pulling anything out until it has warmed up and I know that it's not going to grow. This is another bed that has been covered in snow since it snowed, and it still has snow in it. Well, ice really is still in there. So these are broccoli plants. We're just going to leave them. As I said, we're just going to leave them. So we also have broccoli that sprouted before it got cold in the holes of the bricks. Some of those are the soft garlic that I was worried about. So not all of them came up. You should definitely not buy soft garlic because I definitely didn't have the best germination rate on them. But they did germinate. Some of them did germinate. So these are not the soft ones. These are the ones that came up from the ones that I got from the farmer's market. But pretty much 100% germination on the garlic that I put on this side in the bricks. Now this is the side that had the soft garlic, and so you can see the germination rate isn't nearly as good as the fresh, hard, sturdy garlic. These are also from the soft garlics. So this is what the germination rate is looking like right now. Who knows what it might look like closer to spring, but that's what it's looking like right now. And then going up here, those are onions, I'm pretty sure, I think. They look like garlic. I think they're garlic, but I don't know why they're that big. They may have been old garlic that I put in and it never came up, and I didn't know that it was there because they look like garlic. I don't think those are onions. And last but not least is the broccoli and the cauliflower that's in the bags. And then the carrots, they looking a little sad. But I think it's because the soil is completely frozen. And then here are the cabbages. That's a cauliflower that are in the bags as well. You go back up and you have some broccoli. And so that is the quick garden tour. That is a quick garden tour in January because it's cold out here and I'm not staying out here all day. But that's what it's looking like. So it doesn't look nearly as bad as I thought it was going to look. I thought everything was going to be mush. Now, we have some 13, 14 degrees coming, and it might be mush. We'll talk about it after that. But this is my uncovered Zone 7B. I'm in Virginia garden right now. So I have not really been in the greenhouse. Y'all want to go look in the greenhouse? I don't know what it looked like. We're going to see this for the first time together because I haven't been in the greenhouse. The only reason why I see the garden really is because I have to go feed the chickens. I don't have to go into this greenhouse, and so I don't. Oh, not too bad. I also don't come and open this greenhouse. I'm telling you that right now. It's very warm in here though. But it doesn't look bad at all in here. Oh look, we actually have a broccoli head. Y'all see it? And these plants aren't frozen anymore. This was a broccoli, but it looked like it's going to, the upper room is broke would say. Kohlrabi in here. This is kohlrabi here too. This is a cabbage. It did not make it. That is possibly due to the fact that I will not open this greenhouse because I'm not coming back here because I'm cold. And then you got more broccoli in here. Very nice. Broccoli heads in here. Very nice. These plants don't need my help, y'all. Look at that kohlrabi. Got broccoli heads. Nice. Absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, the garlic. The garlic has come up in here too. So I think this is going to help to loosen the soil up in this bed. So there's garlic all in here. Some places you don't have any coming up yet, but I think that it will. That is supposed to be a herb bed, but that is not what happened with it. Let's check on the worms. I put a good amount of food in here for them, so I think they fine. Yep, they go one right there on the top. And there's food in the second tray as well. And they've started moving down there. They've started moving down there as well. So I can see worms in there. Now, it does look like some of that food is decaying or whatever. But I feel like that's what happens in the compost bin too. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Also, I can't pull out the little side view of me, so I hope that I'm in frame, but I can't because of these gloves. All right, let's check on these. Yep, everybody's doing fine. And like I said, I put a good amount of food in here because I was like, I'm not coming out here that often. It's cold. So yeah, they got food. They're still alive. And there's food in the, oh, there isn't any food in the second tray, but they're going in between, so that's cool. And there actually may be food in the second tray at a point, and I'm going to start doing it again. I'm cold, y'all. I'm just trying to take care of them as best I can in the cold. So at a point, I was putting the food down into the soil. So that second tray, the food may be in the soil. I may have actually put it in the blender and blended it up. It's so warm in here. I'm loving this. And so everybody has what they need. I'm just doing it the best way I can for me not to get super cold and not to want to come at all. So before we go in, one more look at the quail and their environment. Everybody seems to have enough space. There's 11 of them in there. There's food in there for everybody. So I think that we're going to be fine with this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.